I couldn't take it anymore. I came home from the 5th hard day at work in a row, this time getting clocked in the mouth by a rather drugged out and rather tall guy, and getting screamed at by a middle-aged woman, to my children fighting and screaming, breaking shit all over the house, the wife ready to argue the second I closed the door behind me. I hadn't slept in over 3 days. The hallucinations were already kicking in. I just wanted to sleep, but I couldn't. They wouldn't let me. I locked myself in the bathroom to try and get away, cursing God for the life that I was given at this point in time, before starting up a bath and trying to relax, cursing the whole time. I had long since renounced the Catholic upbringing of my parents and constantly mocked the Christian belief when my wife first asked me to go to church. I just felt like I needed a vent to something. If there was a God out there, I would gladly give him a piece of my mind. By the time the bathtub was finished filling with water, the house was quiet. I decided to just relax in a bath. Just relax. Maybe close my eyes for a second, feeling the warm water on my chest, my neck, and just close my eyes. I woke up in a searing pain. The once warm water was now freezing cold. I didn't even know water could get this cold. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. I was stuck. It was when I started to get less groggy that I noticed the excruciating pain in my legs, my fingers, my toes, arms, torso, my neck. Oh God, my neck. I couldn't move anything, not even a centimeter. I couldn't move my head to look at what was happening. All I could see was a blue, watery texture and shadowy figures taking no shape, only mere color in the distance. My eyes hurt so much. Ice. I was under ice. The ice is so close to my face, my nose is crushed completely, so that the ice may touch my eyeballs, so close that I cannot even close them to blink, to get the ice to break contact even for a second. I try to scream, but the ice has wedged itself into my mouth, pulling my upper jaw up so hard I can feel my teeth in my throat, unable to swallow them down. My lower jaw is broken, pulled by the ice, my tongue jammed to the roof of my mouth by a sharp icicle. My face is contorted into a screaming horror that I am forever forced to just barely see the figure of in the reflection of the ice, unable to turn away. My neck is cracked. I am facing down and my head is resting on the back side of my shoulder, which has been shattered by the pressure of the ice. My arm is around my head, contorted so much that it might be said to resemble some sort of hexagon or octagon. My fingers pushed all the way back to the top of my hand, broken by the ice, splayed out in all different directions, sharp icicles deeply penetrating my fingernails until it hits the ends. My other arm is coiled around itself, the fingers pressed so hard into the side of my arm that they go through the skin. But there is no warmth in my arm for them to confide in, only the same sheer coldness that surrounds me now. You would think that I would go numb at a certain point, but I never do. Never do I get a second's relief. The pain is there, 24/7. I can't sleep and I always feel like I can't breathe, and yet I don't die. I don't numb. The ice only stands to heighten my senses. My spine is broken and my torso is pushed at a 90-degree angle, always grinding my hip and pelvis, which feel like they are also shattered. This I cannot see, I can only feel. I might never know what has happened to me below my chest, but if it's half as bad as it feels, I would rather never know. My chest has been crushed the worst by the ice. I lay facing, my body facing up, so my chest bears all the pressure. My ribs are shattered, and in my lungs and organs I can barely breathe at all. But I can breathe a little, and that is all it takes to deny me my wish for death. My legs are spread far apart and pulled upwards towards me. Pulled up so much I could kick my own chest, but they are spread so far apart that they would never reach. My feet are on their sides so that my ankles are crushed by the pressure of the ice. There's a large wedge of ice between each one of my toes, spreading them further out than they have any right to go. And yes, not forgetting the obvious, my genitalia has been crushed into what I can only assume to be an unrecognizable blotch of skin and tissue. I try to scream and cry and kick, but I cannot. I try to listen for people, but I hear no words. All I hear are screams, muffled by the ice that I am so far under. I wonder if there is someone just like me, so close we could almost touch, and I would never know. We'll be here for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000,000 years, eternity, and we would still never know. Eternity like this, never-ending torture with no end ever. I read stories about people on Earth who'd be cursed to Earth until the world ends. Well, that might scare some people to think about, but that time could be but a fracture of a microsecond here. It wouldn't matter. There is no end. There is no hoping for the end of the world. There is never going to be any rest, never any death. Billions of years will go by, and it might as well have been an hour. And all the time, only seeing shadows and hearing the screams of those outside these frozen walls. I only hear one word in my head, playing over and over again. Judecca.